Good morning. So the referendums in the four areas of eastern and southern Ukraine, the Donbas area, have finished. They've been taking place over the last 5 days from the 23rd to the 27th of September, as was announced last week. And they've all voted overwhelmingly to leave Ukraine and to become part of the Russian Federation. So that is Kherson Oblast, Zaporozhiye, also Donetsk and Luhansk, with over 50% turnout in every one of those areas, and with results from 87% in favour up to 99% in favour in the Donetsk People's Republic. So those four areas of the Donbas, also Zaporozhiye and Kherson, will be ratified by the Duma in Moscow, probably this week, Friday probably, and will, as far as Russia is concerned, then be part of Russia, part of the Russian Federation. Some countries may recognize that, probably not too many, but Russia will certainly recognize that. So that ups the stakes and escalates the situation, the conflict in Ukraine to another level. So, so far, Russia's just called it a special military operation to protect ethnic Russians in the Donbas. And then now they're going to consider any fighting or any supply of weapons or soldiers to that area by other countries as an act of war on their own territory. Whether you agree with that or not, that's the situation, that's the reality of the situation. And that's not really being reported on much in the Western mainstream media, even though it is an absolutely huge event in geopolitical terms, because what's happened is something that has almost dwarfed that in terms of how much it's alarmed people, which are the explosions on Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, wrecking the gas pipelines that could have sent gas from Russia to Germany. And if everyone had sort of sat round the table and negotiated and talked about ending the conflict, then we could have got back to normal relations and Russia would have continued supplying gas. The price of gas would go down because the tensions were de-escalating, and the whole of Europe could have avoided the coming gas shortage, energy shortage, and the concurrent dark winter and partial, complete economic collapse that's going to come with it. Who knows? But that isn't going to happen now, because, you know, I've been saying from the very beginning in February, de-escalate. This could have all been avoided if we had stopped funding National Socialists to kill ethnic Russians in the Donbas. But the idiotic leaders of the West, obviously they weren't listening, they were just ploughing on with what they wanted to do and escalating the situation, which is getting a whole lot worse. Now, this is serious because we do not want this to escalate further into a nuclear war, whether this is like with 1 or 2 detonations or 10 detonations. It doesn't matter how many detonations there are or how limited it is, it will be disastrous. So we must avoid a nuclear conflict, and it's avoidable up to the point that it happens. So I do not go along with anybody who says it's inevitable because of this reason or that reason. We can avoid it, and we should do everything we can to avoid it now. So the worst thing that can happen is that the West continues to send more weapons and more mercenaries. You've got Blackwater operating in Ukraine now, which has changed its name to, what's it, Academy, with mercenaries. The Russians have got their own mercenary groups there, the Wagner group. They're not nice people at all, and I'm being polite about them as well. So, you know, on both sides there's people who are killing each other, and for their paymasters on both sides, and for nothing really, for no good reason whatsoever. But we need to de-escalate, and we still need to de-escalate even though tensions have ramped up, and these two things have happened this week, and cool heads are needed now. So we need to step back and not escalate anymore. And it would be advisable to sit down still and talk about things. Now, a couple of months ago, the Serbian President Vučić said, well, after these referenda, Russia's going to offer an ultimatum, and that will be their final offer. So it would be wise at that point to listen and see what is said, and then see how we can get out of escalating this conflict anymore. But that's the situation. The referendums have happened, and we are where we are. So we need to step back and work out what is in the best national interests of our own countries in the West, rather than continuing to pile billions and billions of pounds and dollars and euros into a conflict which is of no benefit to Western countries at all. That's the situation.